The silence was the first thing that struck Commander Ilara Vance. Not the mere absence of sound, but a profound, crushing emptiness that pressed in on her from all sides. Her own ship, the Canopus, hummed with the steady, familiar thrum of life support and machinery. The derelict she had docked with, the galleon, was a tomb. Its distress beacon had been a lone, screaming violin in the symphony of static, a mayday on a loop for 7 decades. A ghost from the early days of interstellar travel, lost and now found. Ilara moved through the umbilical, her mag boots clunking softly on the grating. The air that hissed into her suit was stale, recycled a million times over, carrying the faint, metallic tang of ozone and decay. Canopus, this is Vance. I have made entry. No signs of life. No signs of anything. Yet. Her voice was a confident murmur in her own helmet, a tiny defiance against the void. Static crackled in response. Copy, Commander. Data stream is choppy. Lots of interference from that old hull. The interior of the galleon was a time capsule. Frost clung to exposed conduits, and floating motes of dust danced in the beam of her headlamp like confused spirits. She moved toward the bridge, her light slicing through the darkness, creating long, leaping shadows that seemed to flinch away from her. Then she saw it. A shadow that didn't flinch. It was tall, man-shaped but wrong, a silhouette of absolute blackness that seemed to drink the light around it. It stood at the end of the corridor, perfectly still. Ilara's breath hitched. Hello? Identify yourself. The shadow did not move. It simply was. She raised her plasma cutter, her heart a frantic drum against her ribs. This is Commander Ilara Vance of the Earthship Canopus. Identify yourself. A voice, thin and shredded by static, whispered through her combs. It wasn't from the Canopus. It came from inside her helmet. Alone. The shadow was gone. A cold dread, colder than the vacuum outside, seeped into her bones. It was just a trick of the light. It had to be. Canopus, did you copy that? I'm getting local interference. Only a hiss answered her. She pushed on, reaching the bridge. The crew was there, strapped into their chairs. They were desiccated, frozen husks, faces locked in final, silent screams. Their consoles were dark, dead for generations. Except one. A single screen glowed with malevolent green light. It displayed a single, looping line of text. I am here. Ilara backed away, her training evaporating under a flood of primal fear. She turned to run, and the ship groaned around her. Not the normal sound of metal contracting, but a deep, visceral sound, like the ribs of a great beast flexing. The lights on her suit console began to flicker and die. Life support. Comms. Navigation. One by one, they winked out, plunging her into the silence of the tomb. Canopus. Come in. I've got a total systems failure. Do you read? The only response was the whisper again, clearer now, a dry rustle like dead leaves skittering across a floor. You are not alone. Something moved in the blackness behind her. She spun, raising the plasma cutter, but a force, impossibly strong, wrenched it from her grasp. It clattered away into the dark. She was blind. Trapped. The entity was no longer a shadow. It was a pressure, a presence in her mind, cold and ancient and hungry. It showed her things. The crew going mad, tearing at their own suits, seeing things in the shadows. It showed her it had been waiting. Waiting for a new signal. Waiting for a new voice to scream into the void. It needed a conduit. Her helmet comms crackled to life, but the voice that spoke was not her own. It was a distorted, multi-layered thing, a chorus of the dead and the demon that haunted them. It spoke through her, using her suit, her transmitter. It broadcast back to the Canopus. Ilara fought, a silent, desperate struggle in the absolute dark. She felt a coldness seep through her gloves, up her arms, a numbness that was not of the void but of something else entirely. It was in the systems, in the wires, in the very air. It was on board. The last thing Commander Ilara Vance heard was her own voice, twisted and wrong, speaking into the mic. Mayday! Mayday! This is the Earthship Galleon. Is anyone out there? I am not alone. Then, there was only the silence. And something else, waiting in the dark with her. Forever.